Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. It is Monday, August the 18th, 2025, and today's topic, I'm going to sketch a spiral staircase specifically for a castle. But before we begin, welcome back if you're returning and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day and I use a timer to stay focused and to build a habit. I'll start a 10-minute timer. Yeah, so there's several different things I want to cover along with sketching this spiral stairs. So this is something that I was wanting to do. This will go in I call it environment. So I found reference of a spiral staircase for a castle. That's what I looked up, and I turned it into like a black and white picture. So if you want to follow along, or if you just want to just get some ideas or see a demo. So I haven't really sketched this before, but I want to do it in a way that goes along with the idea of like the different stages of a sketch and a drawing, and also do it in a way that's suitable for comics or like an illustration, but also to understand the basic drawing concepts rather than just copying the picture. With that in mind, one is to figure out the size of the artwork. I'm just going to go with here partly because I'm using this 8.5 by 11 printer paper thing. Part of it is because it fits on the camera. And then the next thing is figuring out the construction. Now, this is going to be, I call it fake, but also using perspective principles. And I'm just going to sketch it out with like this pen. And if it gets a little too messy, then I'll just lightbox it or something like that. But like right now we're wanting to figure out the basic drawing. So I call it fake in the sense that the perspective will be correct. It'll also be based off of the reference, but my goal is to do it in a way that I can actually draw it. My analogy is like building a set for a movie where you don't have to build like the whole castle, but like it should still look believable in the scene. If it helps, you can also do like a thumbnail, which is not a bad idea. So the basic look of it, so this is the reference, but you can kind of approach it like if you were standing there and just do like a thumbnail so that you can develop it. So the basic look of it is like an archway. So that's the archway. And then you can see like this side of it. You can even start to put in the shading, and then the stairs goes up like this. And it kind of has like this look, and that sort of tells you a little bit about like the perspective. And for a thumbnail, you don't really have to go too crazy with it. The main thing you kind of need to know is the forms and the values. So kind of like this, and then there's a gradation right here. So that basically tells you the basic look of it, and you could actually kind of draw the picture from that. So it tells you that this is the front of it. Now obviously the more you draw something, the more you're gonna, and then once you actually have like a drawing, then you can look off of that. So this is just like these are approaches, so that already tells me a lot. Sometimes it's helpful to know the front of these stairs, kind of like this. So that's actually a good way to do it. So like, let's say you have a picture, or if you're looking at a castle or something, if you have the luxury of looking at an actual castle, that's like the thumbnail. So let's just kind of play with that. Again, we want to draw this in a way that we're not just copying, although the thumbnail, you can actually copy the thumbnail. So I'm just going to do that. I'll put up like the picture of this thumbnail, but that's what I'm looking at. So you can see like how to take a thumbnail and make it into a more detailed. Even though there's like an environment, it also kind of has like a gesture to it. Or if you don't want to call it a gesture, you might want to call it like the rhythm. So I'm just going to go with this because it's like an archway. So I'm going to go with this archway, and then I'm going to make the drawing look correct based upon the layout. And that goes with like that idea of it's kind of like a Hollywood set. It's not like the whole building, but it works for the shot. it goes like this. So you might want to work on like the line work. That's what I did all last week. So this is coming from the thumbnail, like the shapes. But you might want to practice how to draw like a thumbnail. So that's why I did this. Like it's not exact, like it's inspired by the thumbnail or inspired. I could have just looked at the reference. That's what I thought I was going to do. This is going to become the look of it. So the inspiration was there, but yeah, this is the look of it. It's inspired by reference, but we're going to make this look correct. So for example, this is like the gesture or like the composition right here of the stairs. Now you can use a pencil. That's like the design. You can kind of fake, and this is what I mean by fake. Like this right here is pretty accurate in the sense that this is an archway and you can see like that side of it. This is what I mean about making the drawing look good, or like making like the sketch look correct. So for example, I'm just going to do this because I feel like it. But to make it look correct, you might want to kind of do these equal sort of thing. Like it's about equal right here. And then you can make it smaller if, so again, part of this is from reference, but part of it is so that I can draw this again if I feel like it. You can make it even smaller. So again, keeping it pretty sketchy, but you can make it kind of smaller and then make it look a little bit more like bricks, meaning like this kind of thing. Because a lot of the shading will kind of cover that up. So that's the basic look of that. For the stairs, to make them look, again, I have the thumbnail, so I'm going to go off of that. So I know that, for example, there's a staircase like right here, or a step, and that I can see the top of it, kind of like this, and then, so that'll help me with the stairs themselves. So I'll just do this. Like this. And then from here, and kind of, these are bricks, but notice in the thumbnail, it kind of shows me the gradation of it. And because I do have the luxury of having reference, I'm just gonna do equal. Let's just start with that. Again, it's kind of equal, sort of going towards like a vanishing point. It's fake is what I'm saying. Like I didn't draw it out to like a horizon line, but that's like the idea. Now, if the question is, well, how do you know that it did that, like that it goes like that? Part of it is because I see the top of the stairs right here. And then when it goes up here, I don't see as much of it. Maybe I see a little bit. And then as it goes up here, it's sort of, I'm just seeing like that front part of the steps. So by doing that, it's letting me know that the horizon's going over here, or like up here, let's say. I'll draw the horizon. Because as it gets towards the horizon, I'm not seeing like the top of it. I'm going to copy the shading. I'm just going to do it this way. Just sketching it. I'm not going to be a little like too detailed or anything. That helps me to see the pattern. I'm just going off of the thumbnail. Kind of like this. And that's just to help me like see where the light's coming from. That sets up the horizon. That's how I know that. And that's why when I do these segments right here, like the bricks, I know that it's going to go towards the horizon. That's like 1 point perspective or something like that. But it looks okay. It looks believable, at least, hopefully. So I'm going to divide them up again. Because I'm not going to draw like each brick. It's just going to be implied. But I'm going to make them a little bit smaller because of at least they should kind of match these so that it looks like it's the same kind of bricks. I'll wrap it up by like, how do you do this front part? So we already established this. And this is the part where I'm going to say like you can kind of fake. So I'm going to go off of the thumbnail, and this is what I mean by like sort of you can kind of fake this part. We're just going to make it look good for like the drawing. So we'll go off of this because it looks like, because I'm not an expert at making castles, but we'll make it kind of match this because it looks like that's how they built it. So if the question is, well, how do you know the perspective on this? It's fake. It's based upon, it's just like radiating. It's an archway. I'm just kind of pretending that it's like that. Part of it is coming from that thumbnail. So if you're not sure how to like fake it, quote unquote, then do it in the thumbnail and then you can kind of see if that looks convincing or not. But basically it's just radiating from this arch. I call it fake because it's really just for looks. But again, it's kind of like making a movie where if it looks pretty good for the shot, because this is going toward like an illustration, maybe I'll put a character at some point, maybe, or I'll just leave it as like a background or an environment, as I call it. Same with this. You can just kind of, because some of this will be covered up by shading. Now the light and dark is sort of right here, so I just kind of do that. So it just depends on how you want to render it. Like I might switch. I'll pick like a smaller and then just kind of just make the line work decent so that the finish will look okay. So same with this. You don't have to crosshatch. You could have maybe drawn it. So we are beginning Monday of week 3. So Monday is complete. Oh, of the 4-week commitment to sketching. By the way, I just wanted to demo kind of a way to do something like this, especially if you just kind of have an idea and you want to sketch something. And as I look at this sketch, which is kind of like a layout, I mean, I can see that I could make it work. And so that's something, if you, like, I don't know how much experience you have doing this, but it's kind of good to know, like, if it'll work or not. And part of that is because this looks like it'll work to me, it reads, but I mean, it takes some practice to kind of know that. Yeah, that'll be it for today. I want to thank you for joining me for our daily sketching routine. And if you enjoy these videos, please support the channel. I appreciate it. And until next time, keep on sketching.